Hi, friends, and welcome to the May 13th, 2023 edition of the Astro Energy Astrology Show podcast here with me, Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. I do private readings. In case you're interested, you could go to my website. All the links are below. Anyway, we're going to talk today about what we can expect this week with the transits and shifts. And we are going to talk about what's going on in the sky now. I'm recording this on Saturday morning, Saturday morning, May 13th. Saturday, May 13th. Anyway, so we've got a lot coming up this week, a number of shifts going on. But first, we're going to talk a bit about what's going on in the sky. And this week, I created a chart not with Aries on the rising, but the sun on the horizon. And the difference is Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It sets up a natural chart with every sign on each of the cusps as it naturally is ruled. But this week I decided to do it with the sun on the horizon because that's also a way you can interpret a chart when you don't have the birth time. If you put the sun on the horizon, which you can see it right here on the other side, let me see. On the other side of the chart, it's like right there. Everything's reversed. So I'm trying to record it so I can be understood here like that. On that side, in the middle of the chart, you'll see Taurus. Taurus sun is at 22 today. And of course, we know 22 degrees is a very significant degree for the last few years because that's where planets met. That's where Pluto and Uranus had aspects a couple of years ago. And it's very significant to the energies as we know them in the larger scale of things. Uranus, which rules community, the unexpected, sexual power, autonomy, integrating into a community, things like that. The sun just came up on Uranus and moved past it, but they are still within just 3 degrees, which means they are still conjunct. What that means is that we have this intense energy of don't tell me what to do. Autonomy is very pointed and it's brought into the material world. So you're looking at where your ego may be kind of off the hook a little bit right now, but material world things are what the earth signs rule, and Taurus rules money and love. So this energy can also bring in love situations, and your money may be increasing a lot. Mercury is about to go direct. Mercury goes direct tomorrow. And that's really awesome. I've already started feeling it. I feel a loosening of the finances right now. Sometimes you have more bills than you have income, or you feel like there's an unexpected bill and you didn't plan for that. So it puts stress on your budget. That energy is clearing up. And the reason that it has been stressful is because Taurus rules love and money. So there may also be romantic situations that have been stressful lately. And Mercury is communications and information coming your way. With Mercury retrograde, it means that we were experiencing kind of a withholding energy of information, of romantic energy, of financial energy. But now that it's going direct, that can release and come back in, and conclusions can happen. We wrap up the story of the retrograde. The North Node is at 3 degrees Taurus. And because Mercury was retrograde heading right to the North Node, now it's within 2 degrees as it goes direct. It will strengthen the energy of the information coming in. And it may be something that is life-changing because that is a node of fate and destiny. Jupiter is hovering at the very last degree of Aries, goes in this coming week. I'm going to talk about a general reading now, and then I'm going to get into all the specific planets as they are changing signs this week. So Jupiter at the last degree of Aries is definitely going to release some stress, some emotional tension that's been building. This relates to the male storyline or aggression. It doesn't have to be assigned just to males. Women feel anger and aggression as well, especially now with the ruling planet of Aries, Mars, in the sign of Cancer, which is feminine, receptive, watery, emotional. Mars is at 25 Cancer, squaring Jupiter in Aries. So Jupiter in Aries answers to Mars. That square is definitely going to bring about a release of energy that could express in any kind of travel situation because Jupiter rules travel. It could connect to real estate or something having to do with a building or a rental situation or a home buying situation. It is, I want to say, fireworks and rather explosive energy. Jupiter kind of pushes things out into the world really rapidly and then walks away. I mean, the classic movie shot of a Jupiter at last degrees of Aries energy would be people walking away from an explosion like they know nothing, like they're not affected, that disaffectation of any responsibility from the explosion going off behind them. It's cliche anymore. It's been done to death, but it visually represents that energy where Jupiter kind of creates little disasters where it goes and then just kind of walks away from any responsibility. That being said, as Jupiter moves into Taurus, guess what? The earth signs are all about responsibility. Whatever energy we have experienced with this Jupiter in Aries, which has been the last year, on and off, because it did get back into Pisces for a period of time over the last year, it means that now we are going to see the results, and that information, that expression of energy will come to the fore. I guess I'm not going to get out of talking about the transits while looking at the chart here, because Jupiter and Taurus was going to be the subject later on in the podcast, but since we're there now, we'll talk about it now. Jupiter moving into Taurus means that the expression will come down into the earth plane, into material world. Energy of Jupiter is education, and these are areas that we can see energetic expressions, aggression, violence, everything related to that. Education, travel, people of foreign culture doing the aggression, musicians, somebody passing on who's a musician, comedy. It's also real estate, like I said, and because Mars is in Cancer, it can relate to the home and family and mothers. This is Mother's Day weekend. So Mars in Cancer squaring Jupiter at the last degree of Aries tells me there's probably going to be a major event this weekend that relates to that kind of release of juvenile or youthful energy, which Aries represents, the child versus the mother, the acting out. So I would say anything that happens this weekend aggressively probably is rooted in mother issues, straight up, like straight to the dynamic of the parent and child. When Jupiter moves into Taurus, he immediately hits the North Node, and the North Node is moving towards Jupiter because it retrogrades right now. Today in this chart, it shows station. The nodes actually retrograde through the zodiac as a major movement. So when it goes direct, it's the short part of its journey, not the long. And it's stationing right now, stationing direct for about 6 days. And so it will be a forward movement of energy, of destiny, before it goes retrograde again and moving back closer to Aries. The North Node opposite the South Node, the axis is Taurus, Scorpio. So Taurus is about personal value, how we value ourselves. And South Node in Scorpio is how we are valued by others, how we see our value through another's eyes. So there's always a dynamic of the other showing us who we are with the South Node. The South Node is also past lives and energy that we're familiar with coming in. So Scorpio is a major life change, but it's also values, and it's about connectivity and commitment. And it could be also about partnership, the commitment to the partnership, whereas North Node is something new. It can be new money, new romance, new coupling up. And with Jupiter transiting across the North Node, there is a major aspect of shift and change that will be connected to our lives. Wherever our Taurus is in our chart, we are having a major shift of energy and movement forward, because this is about transition and transformation, Jupiter, with the new in love or money. So there is something new coming in. Mercury going direct means that information will come out. And then Vesta at 12 degrees Taurus is talking about home and hearth and what's going on with the home. Jupiter rules real estate. This is definitely an energy that says we are going to move. Energies are shifting forward. We're moving where we live. We're moving to another country. We're moving to another home. We are taking material action towards shifting up our lives in love, money, and material goods. Today we have Saturn at 6 degrees Pisces. The moon is at 5 degrees Pisces as we speak, And so there's a lot of strong energy Saturday that's deeply emotional. This is karmic. This is visionary. It is ethereal and psychic. It can be in a sense of career, bringing an intuitive energy to our careers and really creating the vision that we have. And the vision translates in the material world, which is Saturn, into photography or film or videography, because that's a material expression of the imagination. The moon at 5 degrees, the moon is mom. And so there is a deep bonding with the energy of mom over the next 2 days, and it's Mother's Day. So it's a particularly sentimental, emotional Mother's Day. I have a friend whose mother just passed away 3 weeks ago, and her father passed within the last few months. So she's got a very deeply emotional situation in her life. And I have chills. She is getting married tonight, so I'm very happy for her. And that is a literal expression of this energy. The Saturn energy is in positive aspect to a Mercury going direct. So this, I've got so many chills. This is like wonderful love energy coming in, taking shape. Saturn sextile Mercury, the North Node, and Jupiter is really bringing in a commitment energy, a solidity, and solidifying a situation. We also have Venus at 6 degrees of Cancer, which is also emotional, moody, connected to mom, connected to home and family. And so the water energy of Saturn in exact trine to Cancer is going to reinforce this energy of creating a home and a family life. And Jupiter making that transition and transformation happen, being right in between the two in positive aspects. So it's at sextile to Saturn, and it's also sextile to Cancer. So a really amazing weekend for love bugs, so to speak. Here in Florida, we have love bugs. May is love bug season. So the little bugs are all coupling up. Although I have to say, I haven't seen very many this year. Maybe they'll hit in June. But definitely May and September, we have the love bugs. And of course, May and September or is it May, December? Whatever. May, December romance, May, September romance, young and older people. So there could be a coupling up of people who are a little bit older than their partner. Anyway, we've got a lot of lovely aspects, even though there are some stressful aspects for sure. Pallas Athena and Black Moon Lilith are in early degrees of Leo, and that is also a deeply emotional connection to someone. Leo is being the center of attention, having more drama, and Pallas Athena, Black Moon Lilith are about feminine power. So there could be a potential for strong feminine drama going on this weekend. There is a grand trine at the moment, which, Saturn is still going to carry it on, but the moon is activating it here Saturday between Venus, the South Node, and Saturn moon conjunction in Pisces. So it's a strong water energy. Again, water brings up emotion, brings up intuition and psychic awareness. The last two planets I'm going to talk about before going into what else is coming this week is Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees retrograde and Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces. So we have a lot of energy in late degrees. We have Mars at 25 degrees Cancer. We have the sun moving into the last decan of Taurus at 22. We have Jupiter at 29. We have Neptune at 27. And we have Pluto transiting retrograde back towards late degrees Capricorn, which will happen in June. There are many endings in the transitions. Pluto is about moving between the material world and the awareness and air energy of Aquarius, but also intellect. It is information coming into our brains. And I will say, I've told this to friends, but I will say it here. The brain does not initiate thought, it receives and interprets. It's like an interpreter receiver. So when you get all caught up in thoughts and try and reason your way through it, we have the ability to understand what comes in, but we are not creating a new thought, so to speak. We are processing the thoughts that are out there that drop into our brain. At least that's my interpretation of it. You can think what you want, I suppose. Okay, so anyway, Pluto going retrograde, your Aquarius house is going to be going through some transitions and transformation. We're going to be rethinking our community. We have a new community that we have integrated into with Pluto going into Aquarius. And now Pluto's going, oh, is that really where I want to be? And as we always go the end degrees with the planet into the new beginning degrees, we wrap up the old story and get to the new story. When we go back and forth, we have to revisit the old story and have that last chance, kind of a final going around the house before you move to make sure you haven't left anything, energy of, is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to change out of this particular storyline into the new one? That's what's coming in with Pluto and Aquarius, going back to Capricorn, is the structure, the systems, the government, career, and what is supportive of us in a very stable, tangible way. It's moving on. It's getting ready to leave our lives for good when Pluto transitions into Aquarius for good, which is, I believe, next year. We're really going to be wrapping up the old story of solidity and structure as we move into the new one, which will really change the structure for us in a very significant way. Pluto is a planet that has been maligned for how small and how far away it is, but because it's so far out in the solar system, it actually has a greater amount of power over our lives to shift and change our world. So wherever Pluto changes direction or changes signs or hits a planet of yours or aspects a planet of yours, you know that major life change is coming, and we change at a core level and never change back. It is a black and white shift, and that is the energy that we're feeling with this Pluto retrograde. It can be very emotional because Pluto, of course, rules the underworld and deep emotion. And Aquarius is a detachment from emotion. So what we're learning with this transition is how to release the things that are deeply sentimental and traditional, our old story of the old structure, and moving into the new structure. We are revisiting the old structure to really decide if that's really where we want to be or want to release before we move into the new. That's the energy of Pluto. Neptune is such a subtle energy. It is the ruler of Pisces. It is in Pisces. It's been there for quite a while, over 15 years. And we've really become gently familiar with the energy of Neptune. And Neptune is affecting us to make more of an awareness of spiritual life, of integrating the things that we can't see, of having an understanding of things that are not tangible, but also realizing our dreams and moving towards our vision of what we want our life to be. It's really subtle. It works on our emotions. It works in our sleep. It works on little information that drops in our brain or subtle cues from our natural world environment, such as birds, pennies, feathers, seeing a rainbow at an opportune moment, things like that. So when you start to pay more attention to those things, you end up getting more of those things. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling energy of reinforcement of spiritual life. Okay, let's get into the week transits. I'm not going to talk much about the moon, but I will say this: the moon goes from Pisces to roughly Cancer. So through Monday, we're going to have moon. Moon will be in Pisces. It will go into Aries, which again triggers more of this intense aggression and childlike energy, and that's 3:56 a.m. Monday. And then it's in Aries on Tuesday, and it transitions into Taurus, or ingresses, to use the proper terminology, into Taurus at 8:28 a.m. on Wednesday. It's in Taurus, and we have a new moon on Friday. And then not long after, and I'll get to that in a minute, the times, moon enters Gemini at 2:48 p.m. and stays in Gemini until Sunday, the 21st. Like I said, tomorrow we have Mercury going direct. I've touched on what Mercury does. It is information, it is thought processes, transportation, education, local community, and local transportation and cars. It is small pets as well. So in Taurus, it can mean there's a shift and change of an awareness around neighbors, local activity, pets, education, things like that. Tuesday, we have Jupiter moving into Taurus. And so when Jupiter moves into Taurus, like I said, it immediately hits the North Node within 3 degrees and triggers a major shift and change in our world on that transition. So just look for money expansion, love expansion, transformation around home, romance, money, material goods, retail, businesses associated with any kind of consumerism. It could also affect restaurants, just because Taurus energy does love to cook. I know people think of Cancer as the cook, but really Taurus is a very strong cook and baker energy. So that could increase as well at this time. I mean, every day there's something. Moon enters Aries on Monday. Jupiter enters Taurus on Tuesday. Moon enters Taurus on Wednesday. There is a square between Jupiter and Pluto at 9:11 p.m. Wednesday. So that will also be a release of energy. I associate that with weather events. Definitely, Jupiter in Taurus is earth energy, so it could bring lightning. And of course, also Aquarius energy is lightning. And then Pluto is liquid, so that can bring the rain. That can be a disruption in travel and transportation issues. I know that Thursday we're expecting rain here. My guess is there's going to be one hell of a thunderstorm overnight from Wednesday to Thursday. Florida seems to really get a lot of the weather energy in the astrological outlook. Thursday, there's no transition, but we do have a conjunction of Moon to Uranus, which is going to accent technology and tech stocks and money associated with that. So we'll probably hear Facebook, Twitter, all these social media sites or monetary storylines will happen on Thursday. Mercury in Taurus, sextile Saturn in Pisces, and that's going to actually bring some cooperative energy and the vision coming true, which is really awesome. And then Mercury direct is only going to enforce that. Okay, and then Friday, we're going to have a new moon in Taurus at 28 degrees, N degrees of an old storyline, a romantic storyline, a monetary storyline, business, finance, releasing information about your quarterly numbers or anything like that. Economics is going to happen on Friday. It's fairly nice. Actually, Friday, we've got a Mercury and Saturn sextile. We have a moon and Neptune sextile. We have a conjunction of moon and sun, and we have moon sextile to Mars. So like I said in the early part of the podcast, a lot of positive cooperative energies are happening this week and really kind of culminate on Friday. Moon enters Gemini at 2:48 p.m. Eastern, 11:48 a.m. Pacific, and that is the awakening of awareness. Again, Mercury direct is going to help our understanding of things and clarity. It will also bring information around contracts and education, children, pets, etc., transportation. And then we have a trine between the moon and Pluto on Friday. So that's going to be air energy. It's more about ideas, clarity, clarifying, feeling more on top of your intellectual game. And then it wraps up overnight at 11:58 p.m. Pacific and 2:58 a.m. Eastern with a moon square Saturn. And so the Gemini energy is going to square the Pisces energy. So the intellect is at odds with the structure. We want things to move quickly, but the structure is saying, no, you have to have your vision solid first. So there's going to be a little bit of a battle of that energy. And finally, next Saturday, Mars is going into Leo. And Mars in Leo is a really lovely energy. It's actually not long after I was born, I had Mars in Leo because I have a late degree Mars in Cancer, which means this week is my Mars in Cancer. But Mars goes into Leo and hits my Venus, so that's going to be awesome. I'm actually looking forward to that. But it could also mean if you have Mars on your Venus, there could be some aggression or fights. And then we have Mars opposite Pluto in Aquarius, which kind of I see as the drama coming in with Mars and Leo, which Mars and Leo is really good with drama. And actors are really going to feel this energy, especially with Saturn and Pisces and Mars and Leo. This is the actor slash movie slash TV show kind of energy. So definitely there may be something more going on in our news about actors or an actor strike. I know there's a writer strike, which is Mercury energy. Now Mercury is going direct. That may end soon this week because the strike started with Mercury retrograde and now it's probably going to be ending. The only codicil I would add to that is as Mercury is about to go direct, which is today and yesterday, Friday, Saturday, you feel the incoming direct motion of Mercury. So if something is initiated under that, it could be very short-lived. So in other words, I'm going to go out and, get a new shirt. Well, you may end up taking it back 2 days later because the energy shifts so rapidly after that. And so if there's, say, a strike that starts, it could be a very quick strike. If it started recently. I honestly don't remember when the writer's strike started, maybe a week ago. I would think that it probably is going to end this week, and they'll come to a meeting of the minds, especially with all the sextiles going on and Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. I think there was one other aspect on Saturday I wanted to say. It's not bad. No, Mars opposite Pluto is pretty much the last major aspect I'm going to talk about. And Pluto, major life change, Mars opposition. So the thing with oppositions is they trigger the energy, but they can also work in synergy. So opposites attract. There is like an opposition and a synergy at the same time. Think a yin yang symbol where they're black and white, but a little of each is in the other sign. So it's like that. Leo looks to Aquarius to give it community and a sense of larger scale and scope. And Aquarius looks to Leo to connect one-on-one because it really wants to detach one-on-one and be more bigger picture. And Leo wants to have that one-on-one connection. I've got chills with this. So if you have Leo in your chart and Aquarius strong, or, have aspects to that, you're going to really feel the energy of wanting to connect one-on-one with Mars, very much relational energy. And then Aquarius wants to see the bigger picture. So we're really being asked to connect with Mars and to dig deep, to detach from some of the deeper emotional things, and really maybe be more integrative of another person's storyline. And Leo is very much about storyline. So I think my camera shifted while I was not looking and ended up, I moved over here. So anyway, whatever. Que sera, sera. I wish you a good week. I hope you have a lovely week. It's going to be a mixed bag, but the drama is going to be probably life-changing, and you'll also be able to cooperate into the future because of all the positive, beautiful aspects, really making dreams come true, especially relationship dreams. So anyway, with that, I give you love and hugs, and please do like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Bye. Take care.
Baby, I like it raw. I like it raw. I like it raw. I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy out, shimmy yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Up on a natural charge, boom barrage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. 10 killer bees on the swarm. Rain on your dollar ass disco dome. You didn't even touch my skill. Gotta have one killer bee and he ain't gonna kill him. Jot that down, pass it all around. Lyrics get out quick, cement to the ground. NENC and your 52 states. I get psycho killer, Norman Bates. I produce a slam. I was like, bam, jump on stage. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hi, this is Shelley. Thank you for joining us this week. To contact me for a private reading, go to angeliczodiac.com under the Readings tab. To purchase my ebook, Learn Astrology, you can find it at angeliczodiac.com. Background music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Be sure to check back next week and subscribe through iTunes at Astro Energy Astrology Show.